What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran and I help people using a spiritual perspective. So today, guys, I wanted to talk about following your dreams. This is a sort of pithy, cliche statement, right? That essentially surmount isn't a word, by the way, that essentially amounts to going after what it is that you want. You know, we have an idea that following our dreams means becoming an artist, becoming a creator of some kind, becoming a musician, becoming a painter, right? Following a creative path, right? But following your dreams is, of course, could be something as simple as opening up a business on a beach town somewhere in some nice place, or could be going to college. Maybe you're the first one in your family to go to college, and for whatever reason, maybe they don't want you to, or there's pressures to not do that, maybe to follow in the footsteps of somebody else. So maybe they want you to just take over the family business. Maybe you want to go to school for being a doctor, or maybe your dream is to just live in a specific place and not so much on what you're doing, but just where you are, right? Everybody has different ideas of what following their dreams looks like, and that's fine. Everybody is different. So what does it look like, though? What does it look like to actually pursue something? Do we consider it like a shitty roller coaster? Is that what following your dreams is like? A 2-minute horror ride of abysmal fear that seems to be rattling at every second? Is that what a roller coaster, is a shitty roller coaster sound right to you? You ever been on one of those? You ever been on a roller coaster where you're just like, is this going to fall apart in the next 8 minutes? Or, because I might die this time. I've been on ones like that. So, and I'm not even a fan of roller coasters myself, because I am scared of them. But it's not like that, actually. It's not even close to like that, because a roller coaster is over. It's over rather quickly. It's like the first time I had sex. Really not even able to register it as technically sex. It was over very quick. And same thing with a roller coaster. They don't last very long. So it's not really like that, but it begins to paint a picture of something similar, something close, right? But what it's more like is actually failing over and over and over again, consistently, in a long period of time, going after what you have no idea is in store. Following your dreams is pushing yourself into the unknown. It is going where nobody has gone before. When you walk in the woods, you will notice paths often. Those paths were set, they were made by someone. Someone had to traverse them first in order to create something that other people could use. And it is the same in any field, in any science, in any technology, in any profession. Somebody had to do something first. And likewise, if you're trying to follow your dreams, a lot of the time it involves going on your own path. But what nobody tells you, and what these people that have followed their dreams and what they've made it, what nobody tells you often is that it's a terrible and horrible, long-winded experience where there is no necessary end goal in sight, right? The next manifestation that you want is simply the next manifestation that you want. Another one will come up, right? I get my book published. What happens after that? Suddenly it's, my book has to sell, right? After it sells, it has to be respected. After it's respected, it has to be talked about. After it's talked about, there has to be another book. And the same thing with the songs that I make, the same thing with the poetry that I write. Same. I recognize it now, but I'm aware of where that line of thinking will take me. And what following your dreams does actually look like is it involves a lot of throwing yourself on the ground, picking yourself back up, and doing that all over again until you die. That is following your dreams. Following your dreams is saying, I don't want to live my life anymore according to somebody else's values or desires, right? You don't want to be the type of person that your parents made you want to be, right? Or you don't want to follow the traditional paths in life, right? At 21, 22 years old, I had a nice car. I was in college. I didn't want to be in college. I had money, but I didn't know what to do with it. So I would just do drugs. I go on expensive vacations. I had friends, but they weren't really my friends, so I would just go places to not be alone. I was independent. I had more money than I needed or could know what to do with, as I mentioned. And yet, my life was living completely for somebody else. I was working 2 or 3 jobs that were not making me happy. I, was going to college, which I really never really wanted to do. I didn't ever want to go there. At least, there's a pressure to go to college in the United States anyway, possibly Canada as well. Right away, high schoolers, 18-year-olds are expected to know what they want, what they want to do for the rest of their life, presumably. And even earlier than that, because people at 17 and 16, they take SATs or they take tests in preparations for schools. Right? So there's this pressure on us to make a dream, to make something that's already there, rather than to follow our own intuition, our own heart. And our intuition will always take us somewhere uncomfortable. It will be where we feel free, that's expansive, but it will take us somewhere uncomfortable, where our mind will convince us to not go somewhere. And it's not just a matter of safety's sake, it's a matter of fear. And fear, while a natural emotion, is a terrible motivator. You basically squash all sense of soulfulness out of yourself, right? And so following your dreams is not something that is easy. But it's also not something that people want to tell you that you might not be able to do, right? Because there's a bit of luck, there's a bit of timing, there's other elements. It's not just the talent and the skill that you have, right? If it just came down to skill and talent, then half of the people that are famous or well known would not be famous or well known, and the people who aren't, who are struggling, would be in the same position that they are now. I'll give you an example. One time I was at Barnes & Noble, everybody's favorite bookstore. It's the only one that exists as a chain in the United States, I think, anyway. And I worked there at one point. Shit job, don't do it, by the way. And I picked up a book, and it was called Hot Guys and Cats. So picture me, but somebody that's hot. And then just a kitten in my arms, right? So the idea was half-naked guys holding kittens or cats. And it was just a sort of book picture. Maybe it was like 40 of those pictures or something. But some publisher decided that that was a good idea, that the guys were hot enough, that it was a nice marketing ploy, that it would sell enough copies to be worth the risk to invest in. Right? And probably other factors as well. And the author had to have that idea. And maybe the author, their dream was to maybe write a play or a manuscript or something of worth or note. But instead, they realized that the only thing that could possibly sell was this idea of hot guys holding cats. And who's to say why that happened? Did the author know the person? Did they know the editor? Did they know the publisher? Or did the guys just happen to be hot enough that whoever she sent it to, whatever publisher she sent it to, they happened to like it, right? They liked those pictures. Maybe it was just the right publisher at the right time, right? For that person, for that author. And maybe somebody hadn't come up with that idea, or maybe they had with something different. Maybe somebody tried, hot girls with dogs, but realized that that was a little bit sexist, so they didn't do it. But hot guys with cats, right? Not that big of a deal. So maybe there's a little bit of that going on. You never really know. But what people tell you, these people who have made it, that we often base our own adventures on, we get inspiration from, not that there's anything wrong with that, but these people don't really tell you that you might not be able to make it, that it does involve luck, that it does involve timing, that there is important factors. Money is often one of them. The difference between me and a lot of other people doing creative things is the fact that they just have more money, right? And they're able to do more with that money. It's like you're able to do more when you go camping. You can make camping an enjoyable experience. If you don't like it, you can make it comfortable. It doesn't have to be sleeping on a hard mat blanket on the ground, right? It doesn't have to be like that. You can actually get chairs and giant tents and beds and showers even, and you can get grills, and you can get, you can do a lot with money and a little bit of creativity, right? But what happens for a lot of people is that they're following their dreams. They don't have the money. They don't have those things. So it's not about working hard. These people might say, Elon Musk, or I don't know what his opinions on are, but people of, those notions who have gone after their dreams or visions, who might say to you, oh, it's hard work and dedication, but it isn't. Not really. You have to do some consistency. You have to do work, obviously. But you telling me that Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith, has a successful music career because he's talented? Because he worked hard? No, of course not. It's because his dad is Will Smith, and everything was there for him already. So there's money. You need money. You need luck. You need the right timing. You need to meet the right people. There's a lot of different things going on that has to do with following your dreams. It's not a certain set trajectory. And so often looking to the other people for inspiration, or it almost puts them on a pedestal, right? If you were to look at an actor or a musician or a writer as somebody who you need to model your life after, that's not necessarily the best thing to do. It's good to get inspiration, of course, if that's what helps, but pithy quotes are not enough to get by. Not really. Sorry. My thing fell off. So this whole video was... Oh, it's still there. I'm sorry. I thought my little thing fell off. I totally derailed the video. I apologize. Anyway, whether or not you model yourself on somebody else, you put somebody else up there by accident. And you, by default, are now less than that. So you're constantly comparing yourself to other people's journeys, to what other people are doing, to what their dreams might look like. But it's not about their dreams, it's your dreams. And when you put a perspective on that, a spiritual perspective, suddenly your dreams may have a different version, right? You may look towards a writer of the 20th century to model yourself after, but they might have had a totally different perspective on life in the world. And you, with a spiritual perspective, might not see things the same way. So why would you try to do things the same way? Following your dreams is a messy, complicated process where you are constantly afraid, where you have money, you don't have money, you get lucky, you don't get lucky, you feel bad, you say bad things. If you're still following your dreams after failing, after falling, after throwing up, metaphorically or literally, after being on the ground crying, after being exhausted, tired, angry, frustrated, fed up, feeling afraid of everything, afraid of yourself, afraid of your emotions, feeling in pain, if you feel like that and you still keep going, I have news for you. You're following your dreams. Congratulations, you're doing it. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, a painter, an artist, a business owner, if you're continuing to do something despite how uncomfortable it is, you are following your dreams. If you can only do something or be uncomfortable by choice, you're not following your dreams. You're visiting the theme park. That's all you're doing. You're visiting. You're riding the shitty roller coaster. Riding the shitty roller coaster is not following your dreams. That's a temporary choice. The people who are following their dreams, they're operating and running and building and creating the theme parks. So, in order to follow your dreams, it means throwing yourself off of a cliff, often more than once, without hope, without faith in anything other than your own actions. There's nothing else that matters. The unknown is completely unforeseeable. You might never be successful. You might be successful after you die. You might die before you become successful. The next goal that you reach. I have goals, but I might die before I reach them. So how important are my goals if they can be disrupted at a slightest heartbeat? How set in stone are they that I could be hit by a car tomorrow and that all of my dreams are then unattainable? There's many complications in life. If you can follow your dreams and you can keep doing that, you can push yourself through something. If this sounds familiar to you, then you should take solace in the fact that you are doing it just because that's who you are. It's better for me now, at 29 years old, to be broke or not have friends anymore, or to not have the same comfortable situations that I was in, because I no longer put up with toxic family members, toxic friends, toxic ideas. And I try, sometimes I fail, but I try not to put up with toxic behaviors for myself. Sometimes I still fall back into people pleasing, and sometimes I still try to, I still go back to old ways. But I catch myself and I make progress. And I know that even if I failed or I did something that is less than respectable, I'm still going to get up the next day and I'm going to do something. And it doesn't matter how shitty I felt, and I felt really shitty before. There's times where I've been laying on the ground, crying out of my mind like a child, like a petulant child, crying because I wasn't getting what I wanted, because I was rejected again, or because something negative happened and I reacted to it strongly, right? A happy person might be able to react to something that's negative with no big deal, whatever, wind against the face. And a pessimistic person might take it personal, right? But going through it, regardless of how difficult it is, if you're going to get back up anyway, regardless, you're following your dreams. So many times I was stuck in self-pity mode, but I could never go more than 2 or 3 days. As much as I wanted to, I could never do that. Sometimes I still wish that I could just give up, be sad, feel sorry for myself just for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 years. I wish I could. But no matter how hard I actually try to do that, it seems like I'll just get up one day and, take a shower, get ready, do something, take an action, go for a walk, exercise, make a song, write something, do a YouTube video. Do you think my life is perfect? Do you think that I feel like I'm in a good place or that I'm happy with everything in my life? Of course not. And truth be told, I will never be. You will never be either. Anybody that follows their dreams, you're not going to find contentment at an end goal. You're going to find contentment with the process. That's what that's what following your dreams is. Your dreams is the process. That's what it is. People think that it's the end goal. My dream is to become an author. If you're writing, you're following your dreams. The details, becoming a famous author, becoming a well-known one, becoming a rich author, making sure your books have spin-offs and getting to do all the other stuff and living here and doing that, they're details. Details that may or may not come true. But if you're doing something uncomfortable, if despite the fact that you're sad or you might be going through something, imagine I didn't speak like an idiot this video, if you're going through something difficult and you still get on YouTube and make a video like I'm doing, that's you're following your dreams. And that's just an example for me. I'll make a YouTube video even if I feel like shit, Maybe it would be better if I didn't, but sometimes you just have to get up and do it. And that's what following your dreams looks like. It's a process of uncomfortable, unknown origins. But that's what it is. And people don't want to talk about it like that, but it's uncomfortable, it's not easy, it's dangerous, and it's somewhat stupid. But it's so much better than living completely comfortable with a life that you know is wrong for you.